Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Monday Momentum 20-minute power session. The goal is to always to ignite your week. Think power, purpose, clarity, energy, strategies. Those are all the things that we're hoping that you walk away with today. And this week, we're talking about one of my favorite success principles of all time, and it's consistency, which is the bridge to every single thing, right? This is the truth, and this is the honest truth, I think, is that you don't need to have more talent, you don't need more motivation, you don't even need more time, right? You just need to keep showing up every day. And I say this, like I sing this all the time, which is um when to see growth, right? You just have to be persistent, you have to be committed, you have to be showing up, and consistency will beat intensity every single time. And today I want to help you understand that consistency, not intensity, because you're not going to be intense every single day. It's not perfection because we don't ascribe to perfection for perfection. But that consistency is really the secret to unlock every sort of breakthrough that you have. If there's something that you want to do and you want to do it really well, then you should definitely think about how can I be consistent? How can I continue to show up every single time? So today, I said this is one of my favorite topics. I think I even talked about it this morning with my team, but we're going to break down why consistency is so powerful. And then I want to dispel this perfection myth, right? That like the people who succeed are the ones who are perfect or the ones who do things the hardest. I don't think it's true. I think it's the people who are consistent. Then I always want to share with you practical tools. And I thought about doing something really cool. If there's a book that I really like or two books that I really like that pertains really well to a topic, I'm going to share it with you guys. And then hopefully you can read more, you can learn more. So you're not only learning and hearing from me. So let's get going. And um, one thing I've learned, right? If you're honest with yourself as you're listening to this, whether it's as a replay or if you're here today, right? Everybody starts. Everybody has one goal, that thing that they're doing, but very few finish. And that's why we have these New Year's resolution every year, and then people just like fall through, right? And the truth is, like, consistency is not sexy. Like, it's not loud, it's not viral, it's just what you do every single day. It's how you show up, even in the tiny things, right? So it doesn't always look pretty. It's not the newest thing in town. It's just what you decide to do every single day. And I will tell you that if you are consistent, it will separate you from those people who are just inspired, right? Oh, I want to do the next cool thing or the next big thing. But it'll separate you from those people, and it'll put you in the category of impact, right? That's what separates inspiration from like actual impact, is if you choose to be consistent every single day. And this is what consistency does. And I think it was probably Grace I was talking to about it this morning, because consistency is how you build trust, right? When people see you, when they see that you show up every day, they see that you actually finish what you say you're going to do. When you say, I'm going to send you this, and you do it, right? It actually builds trust, and it allows people to know that they can trust you and they can rely on you. Consistency also builds momentum, because the more you do, the more you build reps, the more you keep going. And almost think about that snowball, right? As you start doing, the snowball keeps getting bigger. And that's what momentum looks like. I would also say, even that, like, I think consistency builds identity, because how you do one thing is how you do everything, right? And that's really what I think consistency will help you build. And I almost want to say it can also even build legacy, right? Because you start today and you keep going. And it doesn't look like I'm consistent for a week, which is great, right? But it looks like I'm consistent for a year, for 5 years, for 10 years. I always try to equate a lot of stuff in life to exercise, right? It's how you build the reps. It's how your muscle starts getting definition and strength. It's by showing up every single day. That's what I want you to understand, right? Marie Forleo, she said that success doesn't come from what you do occasionally. So it's not every now and then. It's not like once in a blue moon. It comes from what you do consistently every time. Like this word, you might get annoyed at that word today, but I want to prove a point to you, because when you are consistent, it takes this vision in your head, and then it actually translates that into the actual life that you live. That is the difference. And that's what I want you to understand. What is that bridge? That bridge is consistency. It's the idea, it's the vision, it's the goal, it's the dream That's in our hearts, that's in our mind, that's in our brain. And then we take that and we bring it to life in how we're consistent. So I told you I want to talk about three just easy things that you can do if you want to get consistent. And I'm really big on practical because we can come here and sing and talk, but if we are not practical, right, then, or if I don't tell you how to implement this every day, like, are you going to do it? Are you going to grow? That's what I want you to take away. So we always say keep it simple, stupid, kiss, right? But why don't you make it stupid simple? Make it so easy, and that way you can be consistent, right? We don't stay consistent because we make it really hard. So you don't say I'm going to run a marathon and then you go out and you run 17 miles. Like, you're not, that's, one, you would be superwoman or man to do that, but if you haven't run before, but you're going to make it very challenging, very hard, and you won't finish that goal, right? The goal is not to prove your strength, it's to build that identity. It's always about the mindset and the identity. And you're building the identity of the person who shows up every single time. That's what consistency looks like. And so, simple examples, right? I talk about running. If you want to write a blog or write a book, right? Start with 5 minutes a day. Simple. Maybe even start, of course, start with an outline and write one or two things in that, right? If you want to build a course, um, start with just an idea and then build on that and then start doing something every single day to help you get towards that goal, right? If you want to work out, don't try to do 3 hours today. Just try to do 10 minutes. Try to start with a squat or like 5 push-ups or 5 sit-ups, and then you don't skip a day and you keep going. And if you want to build a brand, right? We talk about this all the time. Like, how can we build our brand? Maybe it's posting twice a week for some, but it's being consistent so that they know, I know that no matter what, I'm going to see you twice a week, right? That's what it is. Consistency is really built on the minimum. So it's just doing, but it's continuing to do it. It's not on the maximum. It's not on 1,000 reps today and don't do anything for like another 2 months, right? It's every day deciding to do something small. You have to stop over complicating it, and I think that's where we get a problem, where it's like in our head and we're like, we can't do it. But if you keep it simple, again, you're just making it easy. Another thing that I think that has helped me is like when you stack it on something that already works, right? So tie your habit that you want to try to do, or something you want to be consistent to, something that you already do. So like, for instance, right, you brush your teeth every morning, so then write in your journal, or you make a cup of coffee, right? For someone like me who drinks coffee every day, maybe as you're thinking about the coffee or you're making it, think about what are the 3 things that I want to get done today, right? Those are my thing is like my top 3. I don't try to do 1,000, but it's like 3 things that I know that if I accomplish those 3 things at the end of the day, like this was a solid day for me. What does that look like for you, right? Maybe after logging off work, you might say, okay, as soon as I'm done with work, I'm going to put my sneakers on. I'm going to go for a quick walk. That then I check off my exercise task for the day. When you stack it on something that already works, you start making it be automatic. We talk about automation, how we want to make things simple, right? That's how you do it. You build consistency by trying to make easy things automatic because they just make life easier. And then the way our brain chemistry works, right? Like, celebrate the small wins. So if you do something consistent for 4 days, celebrate it. If you do for 2 weeks, celebrate it, right? When you see progress, celebrate. Even if it's the tiniest progress, I think is very, very important for you. Like, it's something that you have to track and you have to celebrate it because it makes it so great. So use your phone, use an app, whatever it is, but you have to celebrate those small wins, because then streaks are important. The way our brain works, right? The way our psychology works, you want to make it work. And so you then start celebrating those tiny things and then celebrate it out loud, right? Pick someone in accountability. I told you, we talked about this a few weeks ago, the importance of a team, the importance of taking it from just yourself to building it with a community and a group. So think about how you can celebrate it. So now I want you to think about this, right? How can you start building confidence? And if you want more confidence, right, you have to stop like reading. It's enough with all these motivational quotes, right? Just do what you said you're going to do. Just do it consistently. What is that one thing that you're like, I really, really want to accomplish? I want to go from this income to this income, who can do this and, take on this risk and build on whatever it is that you want to do, right? Stop reading, even though I said I was going to recommend some books, but take it from that one step of like, I see other people doing it, I'm reading it, to now I'm going to start implementing it, right? This is the truth. Every time that you build, every time that you keep a promise to yourself, right? Your confidence grows because you're like, okay, I am that person that can take on this task, that can do the things that I need to do. And that makes it so important. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you grow just a little bit more. And I think that is so important for every single one of us. So as you start thinking about keeping promises to yourself, your confidence is going to start growing. Every time that you follow through, right? You think, I can become this undeniable person who can take on challenges. And I want to tell you this, right? Consistency is not about just being productive. It's not about having 10,000 things on your to-do list and checking it off, right? It's about proving to yourself that, like, you can be trusted on your own dreams, right? Like with your own dreams, those things that like nobody else knows, that maybe you don't share with the world, right? But if you are consistent, then you prove to yourself that you can do it. I told myself one time that I was going to gamble on myself and I was going to take a leap, and I didn't know how it was going to pay out. But I thought, if I can bet on myself, right? Because nobody else knows that I can do it except me. And so just imagine if, like, those dreams that, like, that has been placed on your heart or where you want to go, imagine if you start being consistent with that every single day. So I want to challenge you. This is my simple challenge, right? Keep it very simple. What is one action that you can take this week? 5 minutes or less, but that you can do every single day. And think about doing something for 7 days straight, right? It takes 21 days to really form a habit, but imagine if you did it for 7 days straight, whatever it is, and then you cheer yourself on and then you build on that, right? I want you to celebrate that, but keep going. So as you're sitting here, as you're listening, right, or wherever you're listening to this, maybe what's one thing that you've been putting off, or one thing that you have been procrastinating on, that you can decide this week, Monday, that I'm going to be consistent with that thing. I'm going to show up and I'm going to do it well. So I want to leave you with a final thought, and then I'll kind of share two resources that I think has really helped me. And it's this thought, is that ordinary people, just simple people, you and I, who show up every single day, you will outperform any extraordinary person that just does things every now and then, right? That is, and you might not believe it because you're like, well, that person is stronger, better, well known. But if you show up every single day, and if you do the thing that you said you were going to do, if you bet on yourself, if you promise on yourself, I will tell you this, that you will outperform any other person. And how we've been able to grow here is because we have been consistent, and we have used that as our edge and our power move, is that no matter what, we show up. No matter how hard it is, no matter if, like, no one else is going to show up with us, we're still going to show up, because that's the reason why we are consistent. I told you that it's the bridge to everything that you've ever wanted, and it's in your control, right? You're like, maybe life is unfair and this and that, but like, if you show up and you take control, I think it'll make all the difference. And I again, you can hear me say it, but I think if you bet on yourself and if you say, I'm going to show up, I'm going to do this thing, just watch how you will surprise yourself and how powerful you are. It is your edge, it is your power. So I don't want you to take it lightly. And this is why I said this is like one of my favorite topics, because I'm very passionate about it. But I told you I would give you two books as we start wrapping up, right? Because you have to get back to work after your lunch break. One of the ones, and everyone probably has heard it, but it's Atomic Habits. And this book, like, the whole premise behind this book is consistency. But what he does really well, I think, is that he really breaks down the psychology and the reason why, if you take clear, actionable steps, you are likely to succeed. And he has that key message, and you'll hear him say it a few times. It's that you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. And if you know, we talk about this all the time. It's like, what systems do we have in place so that we don't fall, so that we don't struggle? It's that simple. It's just small habits that compound into massive change. So if you're looking for a book, I can't believe it. It's almost July, which means half the year is over. If you're looking for a book to kind of power you through the next 6 months, it's not going to take you that long. Maybe you pick it up and maybe you just learn. You can even be consistent in reading that book and then watch what happens. Remember, if you do one thing well, you're more likely to do all the other things well as well. So that's the first book, and the second one is The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. And I don't know if anyone here has read the book, but if you have, I'd love to hear your feedback. But what he does really well is he helps you understand the mindset, right? The reason why successful people are successful and why people fail. And so his book is on the premise that like it's the difference between success and failure. And the only difference between that is consistency over time. How simple that is, it kind of blows my mind, right? It's you think about that Chinese bamboo tree and you think about the overnight success, right? But it wasn't an overnight success. You didn't see these people just pop up one day. You didn't see the bamboo tree just pop up one day, right? They were consistent over a long period of time. This could have taken 5 years, 10 years, but they chose to be consistent. One day you see them out and about doing big things, but you didn't see all the work that they put behind. They bet on themselves. They showed up every single day. And so with The Slight Edge, right, the message is very simple. Is that successful people do simple things, but they do it consistently every single time. He teaches on like the magic of discipline and how you have to be very, very disciplined and in making the right choice. So I hope that you'll pick up one of these books, especially if you're struggling with being consistent. I think it can help you. And like I said, this book can be how you decide to be consistent today. So I'm going to end with this, right? This week, all I want you to do is take one small step every single day, no matter how small it is, no matter how tiny it is, but just decide I'm going to take one step and then I'm going to move and I'm going to do it every day. I'm going to stack it onto something that I already do all the time. And then I'm going to celebrate my wins. So I hope everyone has a wonderful Monday and a wonderful week. I'm going to jump to the comments and see if anybody has questions. I see a question. What in a situation if I set my alarm or reminder to help me become consistent and I still ignore it? So this used to be story of my life. If you see my phone, you see, I kid you not, 70 alarms. But at some point, right, you have to love yourself and you have to realize that like your goals are so big and the impact that you want to make. And Chris asked that question. Your goal's so big, the impact that you want to make is so big that you have to just decide that, you know what, I'm not going to snooze anymore. I'm not going to ignore that reminder. I'm going to bet on myself. I'm going to push myself. And you know what? In the beginning, if you need someone to help you, then ask a friend to wake you up. If you need someone to help you, maybe you show up with someone, a business partner, a sibling or something, and you take a walk together, or you start brainstorming that book together, or you learn how to code together, or you create that YouTube account and you start posting. If you need someone in the beginning to just help you, to hold your hand, to keep you accountable, then so be it. But Chris, at some point, you really have to want it bad enough that like you don't snooze anymore. So that's that. Consistency comes from simple things. Yes. It shows up long after the initial emotions are gone. I completely agree. Showing up every day is the secret to becoming extraordinary. That is correct. So yes, if there are no other questions, it's 21. We're 1 minute. We have 1 minute past time, but I hope this was very helpful. I hope this was impactful, but I will say that I am a testimony to being consistent. And so if I can do it, anyone here who showed up today can do it. And so I'm excited for everyone who showed up. Thank you so much for spending this afternoon, your lunch break with us. And we'll see you next week, Monday Momentum. We're going to be talking about something really cool. If there's a topic you want us to talk about, if there's a topic that's on your mind that you're like, let's just like delve into it for 20 strong minutes to get you going to the week, put it in circle, put it in the community, and I will definitely plan to talk about it next week. Okay, everyone, have a wonderful afternoon.